press conference. We will begin by opening it up for questions for head coach Frank Reich.
All right, Coach Mike Robertson, Sports Radio Service. First time around, big game, a lot of excitement going on. So what was it from your perspective to experience this big game and get the Axe back for the first time in years?
And getting the Axe back is huge. I mean, this was such an incredible experience for me. I'll remember a lot of things about this year, but these last 2 weeks and that game tonight will certainly stick with me for a long time. I mean, just seeing and feeling, what it means to the players, the coaches, really everybody connected with Stanford football, former football player, alumni. Like, I'm just proud of this team, proud of getting the Stanford Axe back where it belongs. And, I look forward to this team making a habit of keeping it here. So, but so much credit to our players, man, that the way these last 2 weeks, you could just feel a different energy. This is college rivalry football. I mean, it was a new experience for me, and I felt every bit of it. And like I said, a real credit to the players.
Luca Mazzi with Stanford on SI. Coach, I got to ask you about this defense. Obviously, one of your best performances of the year. Just talk about the whole defense. Defense
was incredible. I mean, players were making plays all over the field. I give a lot of credit to Coach Thompson, Coach April. Scheme was amazing. They've been great the whole year. Obviously today against that offense, that quarterback did a phenomenal job on defense, but how well they played early, and not only playing well, but scoring 2 touchdowns. I mean, are you kidding me? We were struggling on offense, so it's one thing for the defense to keep you in the game while you're struggling. It's another thing for them to score 2 touchdowns for you, and you go in with a lead, and you feel like you haven't even made a first down. And I just think that really kind of injected us with some confidence. We came out, we moved the ball down there to start the second half, and then, we didn't come away with points. But, I just think, again, the defense has been really good the whole year. Super great game tonight. And, happy for Coach Thompson, Coach April, and Jay, Jay and Double D, coming up with those 2 touchdowns are massive.
Steve Croner, San Francisco Chronicle. Frank, I was here for the San Jose State game, and you said that was one of the best wins you've ever had as a head coach, which previous the Boston College game was. Where does this one rank? And the second part of the question is, I know this is supposed to be and is likely going to be an interim and you're done after next Saturday, but a win like this, does that make you think, hey, I'd like to do this again?
Of course it does. But we know it's done after this, and Andrew and I know that, and that's always been the plan. So, but I'll tell you what, it means a lot, and this whole thing, that's part of why I came here, to experience what it would be like to be a part of the Stanford football community. And I know this is a special place, and that's why every win has been incredible. And but this one means more. And I learned that these last 2 weeks, and how important this game is, and that's why I'm so proud of the team for the way we played tonight and get the Stanford Axe, back in our house.
Frank, Josiah with Associated Press. Just the way you guys played in the second half and sort of really dominated both lines of scrimmage, were able to run the ball. Is that sort of the vision that you see that Andrew has for what this program?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, I think, when I first got here, Andrew's vision does include, really dominant play up front. He understands how important that is to winning football games. He understands how important that has been in Stanford's winning tradition. That when we've been at our best, that's what we do. And so tonight was good, man. We did on both sides of the ball. It took us a minute, obviously we didn't do much on offense in the first half, but the way we ran the ball in the second half was a beautiful thing. Simi getting back in the action and playing the whole second half was a big deal. We felt his presence out there.
Rivals. There we go. Coach, just talk about, on the second half, what was kind of the key to Elijah finding his rhythm, deep ball to CJ, just kind of what clicked at halftime to kind of get the offense rolling, and particularly Brown?
Well, I think the run game, getting the run game going, we hit some play action passes. We had a feeling coming into this game not a feeling. We just, by looking at the film, there were certain types of play action passes that we thought we would hit against this particular defensive scheme. And I think we hit a bunch of them, and then the ones we didn't hit, we got pass interference on one of them. But, yeah, right, the dagger was the touchdown pass to CJ, you know. So I think the run game helped Elijah kind of get his groove in the second half. But then, obviously, that dagger on the 3rd and 6 or 7, whatever it was, and they're playing a 3-lock coverage, you know, zone in the front side and, you know, the field side, and playing man-to-man into the boundary. He just throws a perfect strike that basically seals the game. So a credit to EB and CJ on that play. It was awesome.
All right, Coach. You, of course, are a veteran coach, coached on both levels. Will you still be a stickler on, hey, we tied the most points we had all year, 31, but we left 6 points on the board on the blocked field goal and the missed field goal. So will you be a stickler about that this week, even though you got the Notre Dame game coming up?
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. I mean, well, not just that. I mean, we left stuff. I can tell you we left points out there on offense. You know, when we kicked those field goals, we shouldn't have been kicking field goals. There were things, you know. So that's what we do. We hold each other accountable, right? Win, lose, or draw. You know, we come in on Sunday, we grade the film, we highlight the things that we did well, and, you know, try to want to repeat those. And then the mistakes that we made as coaches and players, you know, we own up to those. You know, we hold ourselves accountable, and we get those things corrected. But that's just football, man. That's football. So every team, you know, probably 90% of the games, every team saying the same thing. We left some stuff out there. And so, you know, you understand that as a player and as a coach, which I think that makes it, you know, that makes it easier to say, okay, hey, listen, you know, you play enough plays, you're going to make some mistakes. So we're not worried about that. Just let's learn from it and get better.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask about, you know, the quarterback, JKS. Obviously, you know, when you're going up against a quarterback of that caliber, it's obviously tough to game plan. But, you know, how would you kind of assess, you know, how you guys did against him?
Phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I think that, I think our defense did a great job. You know, I think we got good pressure with 4-man rush. I think, you know, we had some blitz schemes that Coach Thompson and Coach April had put together that were really well executed by the players. We won one-on-one matchups. We've finished on our sacks, you know, got him down to the ground. We hurried him. We had him off his spot a large part of the night and got him out of rhythm. And then we played good coverage on the back end. That's some of the best coverage I think we played all year as a secondary. So proud of the way our secondary played as well.
We're taking 2 more questions, Ben.
Yeah, just what's it like being part of a game where the defense is able to kind of dictate the scoring for the first half? Kind of a unique game. Just talk about kind of managing a game like that and being up at the half despite, at the time, the 2 touchdowns coming from the deep. Just talk about the uniqueness of this kind of game, yeah.
That's great. I mean, as an offensive play caller, an offensive coach, man, when your defense is doing that, you know, you just know you just got to keep grinding and keep being patient. And, you know, I think our defense has played really well all year for large and long stints. So this was really nothing new in many respects. But as a play caller on offense, you know, hey, don't force it. Our defense is keeping us in there. Keep believing. It's going to break for us. It's going to break for us. Let's just keep grinding it out. We're going to make plays. We know we're going to make plays. And that's what we were able to do in the second half.
Last question.
So, Coach, I know the ambiance of the emotions of this game is still permeating, but you got Notre Dame coming up. So what does Notre Dame mean to you as an ex-player back at Maryland and your days of coaching, and what does it mean to go up against Notre Dame if you haven't yourself?
Well, obviously a great football tradition. Listen, where I grew up in Pennsylvania, Notre Dame football was everything, you know, so I grew up watching the Era Parsiga show and all that stuff. They always had the Notre Dame, you know, so probably at one point I wanted to go to, you know, as a young player, I wanted to go to Notre Dame. So a lot of respect for the program and what they have done and continue to do. And it's going to be a great test for us, man. We want to finish strong. So, you know, we're going to prepare to win. We're going to prepare to play to win. And, you know, I know this. We played a very tough schedule this year. We played a lot of really good football teams. This is just going to be the next one. And so we're not going to get too caught up on their tradition and who they are. We'll watch the tape. We talk about faceless opponent. They're just the next team in one regard. So we got a lot of respect for them. They obviously are having a great year. Had obviously a big game today from what I saw. So look forward to the week of preparation and getting a chance to battle against these guys next week in our house.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back with Josiah Galvan. Thank you so much. So we'll start with John Galvan. We will take questions. Make sure to please list your full name and outlet. So John and Mr. Moore. Thank you.
All right, Luca Mazy with Stanford on SI. Josiah, obviously you guys allowed 10 points, against I think a pretty good offense. Just what does that mean to you guys?
It means the world. It's just a blessing to be able to go out there and execute at a high level in the big game, and super important game for everyone on the team, all the seniors, guys who have been here all 4 years. So be able to go out and have that type of performance, it's huge, and it means a lot to everyone on the team.
Ben Parker on 3 Rivals. Josiah, just talk about what was the key to your guys' ability to get not just 1 but 2 defensive touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, it was just emphasized all week that we got to create turnovers. Scoring on defense was something that we wanted to come out and do, and be able to do it twice is awesome. It's amazing. Credit to all the guys, the effort that was around the ball. So that ball comes loose, guys are right there to scoop it and take it back to the house. So credit to everyone on defense with amazing effort all game.
Steve Cronin from the San Francisco Chronicle. People talk about how great it is to win the big game and how dejected you are afterward. Now, I guess you've experienced both. How would you describe it?
It's truly amazing. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of. True euphoria, be able to, this game with so much tradition, so much history, to be able to go out and get a dub and, bring the Axe back to Stanford. It means the world to, everyone that's a part of the program and who's been a part of the program. So, glad we were able to go out and do it because it was amazing.
All right, Michael Robertson, Sports Radio Service. So how important was it for you guys, because the offense was struggling earlier, and Coach even said that. So how important was it for you guys to say, hey, we need to find some kind of way to get points on the board? And it came by 2 fumble recoveries for fumble 6. So how important was it for you guys to help with the offense out?
It means a lot. As a defense, we try not to worry too much about what the offense is doing. For us, it's just go out there 1 play at a time and just execute. So just being consistent, doing that, throughout the whole game, just moving on to the next series 1 play at a time, just focusing on doing our job. And, like I said, getting a score on defense was a priority this week. So, being able to do that and do it twice was huge for us.
And Josiah, Steve Cronin again. Even then, you had two turnovers for touchdowns, which obviously compensates for a lot of stuff. But in the first half, Cal really did move the ball pretty much, I don't know if at will, but pretty well. And in the second half, Cal didn't move the ball hardly at all until the game was over. What switched either at the end of the second quarter or at halftime?
Yeah, so, they come out, they have those first 15 plays or kind of, scripted plays that they kind of want to run, have been, working on all week. So we saw a lot of trick plays in those first 15 plays, a lot of misdirection, a lot of things that we just hadn't seen on film. So, once they kind of got through that bag of tricks, I would say it was just playing football 1-on-1, and we went out there and executed at a high level. So that's what led to better performance in the second half.
You guys end up winning the game, so this didn't matter in the end. But just kind of curious, what happened on that punt return? There was you were out there and Caden was out there. Just kind of what kind of happened there on that?
Just
Just
a miscommunication. We had 2 number 0s out there, so I think that's what the flag ended up being, was just 2 of the same numbers out there. So.
And is that something you guys? And obviously, this is the first time we've seen it, but just is that something you guys are aware of, or just what's kind of the normal protocol to prevent that from happening? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's something that we've practiced before in the past. It just hasn't came up in a while, so. We know that when he's in, I got to come out, or vice versa.
Josh Josiah with AP. Just what kind of impact has Frank had in sort of getting the program going back in the right direction? How can you describe the impact he's had?
He's been amazing as a head coach. I've never been around a leader like him, so to have him in the program and see the energy that he brings on a daily basis, he truly pours out for everyone on the team and everyone that's involved with the program. So just being around him, is amazing for all of us to see what expectations he has of us, and it's just a blessing that he's here and has been a big part of getting this program on the direction that it wants to go.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. We will be up next with quarterback Elijah Brown. All right, we're up with quarterback Elijah Brown. We'll take questions the same way we have for the first two. Please state your full name and outlet for Elijah. Thank you.
All right, Michael Robertson, Sports Radio Service. So Elijah, since you had the moment where you had to take over as starting QB, teams rallied around you. So how confident do you feel, and how important is it winning this game and getting the X back?
You know, it's very important, especially for the fourth years and the seniors, the guys that aren't going to play again. You know, I know they haven't beat Cal, so I feel like that's a great, you know, team win. It's a great win for the program, and you know, I'm glad to be able to help in that big win.
Josiah with Associated Press. Just what's the feeling on the offense? You go in half, and you guys, the defense has given you guys the lead, and you guys, you know, on offense probably didn't play to the level you guys wanted to. So what's that feeling to know that you still have the lead despite all that, and then what changed in the second half for you guys offensively?
I mean, it feels great. You know, the defense played their butts off. You know, 2 touchdowns. This is like we couldn't ask for any more than that. You know, I think we just brought it together, stay calm. You know, we had a plan going into the second half, and you know, we executed. I felt like the offense did what we needed to do to win.
Ben Parker on through Rivals. Just walk us through the touchdown to CJ. What did you see on that play? What was kind of drop there? It seemed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, you know, it was press man, safety rotated towards the middle. You know, and that's a dream look for a quarterback. And, you know, that's my guy too. So, you know, if I can give him, you know, any kind of chance to score, you know, he's gonna make that play. So, you know, great call by Coach Reich. You know, especially on that 3rd and 7. You know, he's very aggressive on that, and he gave me the keys to, you know, go score like that.
Steve Cronin from San Francisco Chronicle. Elijah, I know you're not playing against Sagapolitelli, but I'm sure you know how good he has been. It's kind of like when a pitcher in baseball is going against the other pitcher. He's not facing him, but in a sense he's facing him. Was there any extra motivation for you knowing you're going against a guy who has gotten a lot of well-deserved publicity?
You know, he's a great player, but I feel like, you know, as long as we stay focused on us, it's been a key, you know, saying it's all about us. We're not worrying about anybody else. You know, we stay focused in what we need to do, and I think that's how we're gonna how I kind of looked at it.
Luke Amazing with Stanford on SI. Just to be the game-winning quarterback in the big game, just how does that feel?
You know, it feels great. You know, it's very unreal. You know, I'm really just glad, you know, we won, and you know, for our seniors, you know, they haven't got that win, so you know that means the world to me. And you know, hopefully we just keep on, you know, stacking these days and keep going from here.
So Elijah, like I said, since you took over, how important is it to be under the tutelage of Andrew Luck, who was a phenomenal quarterback here and a great pro, and then of course Frank Reich, phenomenal player in college and also a really good pro. So how important is it to emerge as the starting quarterback and to have these 2 guys be your umbrella?
You know, they're amazing. You know, it's amazing to be able to be coached by, you know, Coach Reich, and you know, get pointers from Andrew Luck. You know, that's kind of like every quarterback's dream. You know, and so I feel like, you know, just soaking up everything I can from them, and you know, just try to learn things that they teach me, make my game better.
Any other questions for Elijah? All right, one more.
Just had to keep you guessing there, take you out there a little bit. Just early thoughts on the Notre Dame matchup. Just obviously you're facing a great team, great defense. Just talk about early thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, great team. we were kind of focused on Cal this week, so haven't done any preparation on them yet. But I'm pretty sure we're going to go. We're going to go into the game. Study what we need to study on this team and go from there.
We
Thank you.
have one more player coming, Jay Green.
Thank you, guys.
Just a second for Jay. Cal's already done.
Yeah, I had to write something little. That's not my best work.
All right, we'll wrap up tonight with Jay Green. Take questions the same way we have for the first two.
Michael Robertson, Sports Radio Service. So, Jay, besides the great moment of winning this game and getting the X back, how could you describe the play that you did, the scoop fumble TD return?
It was a testament to how we practice. We run to the ball, we make goals of trying to get 3 takeaways a day, and I did get an end zone in practice this week, so it was fortunate to see that come to fruition during the game. And shout out my teammate because I get all the praise for scooping and scoring, but he's the one who caused that play, and I was just ripping and running to the ball.
Luca Mazzi with Stanford on SI. Obviously, this was one of the season's best defensive performances. Would you rank it number 1?
I would say, I would think so. We scored twice on defense. You know what I mean? We had a lot of sacks. It seems like no passing touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns or anything. So one rushing touchdown. That's a stellar defensive performance anywhere in the country. So yeah.
Ben Parker on 3 Rivals. Just talk about, just collectively, kind of what was the key defensively to winning this game, and just kind of what were the keys that you guys were locking in on going into the game, scouting report-wise, you felt you guys did the best job of executing?
It was 5 simple things. Physical, smart, fast, rip, run, hit. It was pretty simple in that aspect. Our whole thing is run and hit. And I think we showed that. That caused 2 fumbles, got us in end zone a couple of times. And we didn't really, my whole thing is I didn't want to make the game too big. You know what I mean? It's the big game or whatever. But at the end of the day, it comes down to wins and losses. And usually the team who wins wants it more. So I think we showed that and put that on display today.
Any other questions for Jay? All right, thank you so much. That's the end of tonight's press conference.
All right, God bless y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Appreciate y'all.